America's most notorious prison in its war on terror remains at Guantanamo Bay. In Guantanamo Bay, Ethiopian citizen Benyam Mohammed is currently being held. Benyam left London in the summer of 2001 to visit Afghanistan after becoming interested in fundamentalist Islam and the Taliban government there. He did not inform his family of his travels. We tracked down Benyam's brother, who lives in this Washington suburb. He spoke to us on condition we would not show his face. He described how 3 years after Benyam traveled, a stranger phoned him with news of Benyam.
He said he was in Pakistan with Benyam, but I'm going to quote him. He said, "I'm one of the lucky ones who actually made it to London." I said, "Okay, what happened to Benyam?" He said he was trying to get out of there, but he was kidnapped. And he didn't say who kidnapped, but he said he was kidnapped and he's in prison right now in Pakistan.
Though Benyam was detained in Pakistan, he was interrogated by American officials who suspected him of being an Al-Qaeda recruit. We have visited prisons in Pakistan and understand conditions there can be tough. Benyam was told he could expect even rougher treatment in Arab prisons.
And he was tortured, and he was told that he would be transferred. He would be given to the Arabs to take care of him. I mean, this is his handwriting, that the memo that he's written. So, but he was actually transferred from Pakistan prison to Morocco, and he was being tortured there for 18 months every day.
The first signs that the CIA was operating a secret program of extraordinary rendition started to come to light through this Swedish investigative journalist. He discovered that the 2 Egyptian asylum seekers in Sweden had been flown to Cairo aboard this chartered Gulfstream airplane with a registration number denoting that the plane was American.
And that really started us thinking, this is strange. What does an American plane do here? What company owned it? Where had it been before? We decided, let's try a little bluff. We called the company up. We have heard that you did a fantastic job with your airplane here in Sweden in 2001. And now we'd like to know if it's possible that we can use your airplane again and for another operation. Is it possible? And the fantastic thing is that he swallowed the bait.
Other journalists were also on the trail of this Gulfstream jet, tracking its movements around the world.
I managed to find a source who could identify to me where that plane had been throughout the world. And I found flight logs, detailed information about the movement of these planes that showed, this particular plane, showed the plane going to at least 49 destinations worldwide, and all the key destinations in the war on terror, including not only Guantanamo, but also Afghanistan, Iraq, Egypt, Jordan, and later on Libya.
And some of them coincided exactly with the renditions, including the one in Sweden, which had never been reported. We had the flight from Sweden to Egypt. The destinations were very random, but the plane almost always started its journey out of North Carolina. Obviously, they were based in North Carolina, and they typically went to Dulles Airport, to Washington, which is close to the CIA headquarters. From there, usually the planes would refuel in Europe somewhere. Shannon, Ireland is a big stop. Frankfurt, often. And from there, they would fan out throughout the Middle East.
From this small village 2 hours' drive from Milan, irrefutable evidence of the CIA involvement in the abduction of suspects was discovered. In the village, we found the house of the former CIA station chief of Milan, Robert Selden Lady. Only the guard dog answered our call. Italian police had raided this house after an Egyptian political refugee known as Abu Omar was snatched from a Milan street in February 2003. The police found this surveillance photo of Abu Omar on a computer in the house. The photo, taken in the very same street in Milan where he was to be seized, was dated a month before his abduction. Robert Seldon Lady had fled Italy before the Italians could question him about this photograph.
Under the photos there is written January 14th, Abu Omar near the medical center of Via Guerzoni. This photo shows clearly that Bob Lady was the chief of a group of people who were spying the victim of abduction. It is an evidence.
According to Italian investigators, the CIA team led by Robert Seldon Lady had stayed in luxury hotels such as this one in Milan. Using false names, invalid U.S. passports, the agents left behind a trail of evidence, including numerous credit card transactions. From his flat in this building in Milan, Abu Omar set out on the 17th of February 2003 to walk to the nearby mosque for noon prayers.
أبو عمر يأتي من هذا الاتجاه من المنزل عشان يروح المسجد. لما وصل للمنطقة دي نقف عندها الآن وقفوا واحد على أساس إنه بوليس وطلب منه الأوراق بتاعته. فأبو عمر أعطاها له.
Unfortunately for the American agents, there was a witness, a woman, who saw the scene, and he witnessed that a man was taken, people asked him documents and sprayed something in his face.
Picking somebody up off the street and throwing them into a car can be as simple as taking like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very seldom does it take beyond 10 seconds. Overwhelming force, subdue the victim, put him in the car, take him to the airport.
أول ما وصل باب الفان خلفي اتفتح باب الفان وفي اثنين من داخل الفان بيشدوا أبو عمر في الداخل. حاول يقاوم وحس إنه في خطر، قاعد يقول الحقوني الحقوني، لكن كانوا هم أقوى منه طبعا. 3 رشوا عليه مادة دوختوه، وبعد كده حطوا في الداخل. بعد ما دخلوه في الفان قفلوا وحطوا عليه شريط لاصق، واكل الفان جرى في هذا الاتجاه.
Italian investigators managed to trace the movements of the CIA team through the Italian mobile phones they used during the operation. The team drove Abu Omar to an American military base at Aviano in northern Italy. From there, he was flown to this U.S. military base in Ramstein, Germany, and then on to Egypt. Abu Omar spent 14 months in prison in Egypt before being released without charge in April 2004. But he was soon rearrested. During his brief freedom, he had called his friend in Milan, Mohammed Reda, and recounted what had happened on his initial arrival in Egypt.
وبعد ساعة تقريبا من وصوله إلى مصر وجد نفسه في مكتب وزير الداخلية المصري الموجود حاليا حبيب العدلي، ورفعوا الغمامة من على عينيه وساومه حبيب العدلي وقال له: يا أبو عمر، سأقول لك سؤالا واحدا، تعمل جاسوسا معنا أرسلك مرة أخرى وتعود إلى إيطاليا في 24 ساعة، وإلا سترى ما.
Una ventina di giorni prima del rapimento di Abu Omar,
the Italian police had been conducting their own investigation into Abu Omar since his radical preaching in this mosque in Milan. Their surveillance of Abu Omar came to an abrupt end with his sudden disappearance. This Italian prosecutor has ordered the arrest of 22 people he suspects are CIA agents who carried out the abduction. But former CIA analyst Michael Scheuer believes Italian intelligence was complicit in the operation.
I think that will come out at some point, that the operation was approved.